Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka another Saturday Soulful Sessions of Expression Sessions. How y'all doing on this Saturday? I could back up a little bit. Maybe this is what he was talking about. My buddy was telling me my face is all up in the camera, but I don't know. I'm comfortable sitting close. How's everybody doing on this Saturday? Yes, the chair is empty right now. I'm waiting on my lovely wife to show up. She'll be here any second now. Hopefully everybody had a good Saturday. It's probably a busy Saturday. What's going on, Victorino? Thank you for joining us, for tuning in today. Hopefully you had a good Saturday. My Saturday seemed to go all right. Not too bad, not too busy. I got some work done. Got to ruck in, wash my car, wash my wife's car, came home, cleaned the house. Now I'm working on dinner. So if you see me get up and move off the camera as I'm getting into this topic today, I'm over here making some homemade black beans for some black bean burgers that I'm going to whip up, and some homemade potato chip fries. So, that's how my Saturday is going. Let me know how your Saturday is going. Express yourself. I don't know if it's Pro Bowl on or something like that. I don't know what's going on with football. I got these 4 classes going on that I have to tackle, a little bit of homework to do. So, Saturday's been good. Saturday's been good. Today I want to talk about something that happened to me that I thought was pretty funny, and it was about being in shape. And I really just had a couple questions for you, and wanted to talk about this topic and see where it goes. Are you really in shape? Are you really in shape? And what does it mean to be in shape? When you think about being in shape, most people think about physically fit. Most people think about healthy. Most people think about a certain look. A guy looks like an Adonis. A girl looks fit. When people think about being in shape, you can run a certain distance. You can do so many push-ups. You can bike so many miles. You can play tennis for so long. You can golf for a long period of time. Like, when we think about being in shape, most of the time we think about being physically fit or physically in shape. And I wanted to talk about that and something that I experienced today, and just something simple, a little something that happened to me that I thought was pretty funny. But not only about being in physical shape, about being in mental shape, and how the two coincide with one another, how the two go hand in hand. And what do you think about it? Are you in shape? And if you are or are not in shape, if you are primarily, what are you preparing for? Why are you working so hard physically to be in shape? And what are you preparing for? And if you are not in shape, we'll give you a few tips and tricks, hopefully to help you to get in shape, to begin to prepare for what you say you want out of life, or what you're looking to get out of life. So please, as we waiting to really get started, share this video, tag me in this video. Ethan J. Smith on Facebook. Hey, wife.
Hey.
You want to say hey to the people? Wife is here.
Hey to the people.
Where you was at? What you was doing?
I was still getting ready.
You was getting ready for what? You already beautiful. What you was getting ready for?
Well, thank you. I had to put my shirt on
and
now put my hair up decent, so I'm not on here looking wild.
Hey, it's all right. JB, that thing.
You know, Saturday, so
you know what? Nobody on here. It was nobody viewing until you showed up.
Hey, nah.
That's how you gonna do it.
Time. Y'all on CP time with me?
No, okay. I'm not on CP time. We building the business here. We is professional. We ready to go on time. CP time is not brought to you by Mr. P.I.E.N. and Associates. CP time is brought to you by Tim and Taz LLC. CP time. No. So today what we're talking about, what I was saying to him, what I wanted to talk about were, are you in shape? Are you really in shape? And what are you preparing for? Are you really in shape, and what are you preparing for is what I was talking about. And how I was looking at that is, most of the time when people think about someone is in shape, we're thinking they're physically fit, they're healthy. I got to get close for the Instagram camera. Or maybe I need to move back, because last time again it said my face be all up in there, so maybe I should move back. I don't know. Just got to buy a camera. Anyhow, are you in shape? And I was thinking about that. Most of the time when people think about are you in shape, they think about, are you physically fit? the way a person looks, how far they can run, how fast they can run, how many push-ups they can do, how many sit-ups they do. It's the look. Like, oh, you see a person, people look at me and they be like, oh, you in shape.
Yes.
And I be like, no, I'm fat. Like, seriously.
I know.
Yeah, so people, they perceive by the way you look that you in shape. You know what I'm saying?
That's like the cliche that every skinny person is in shape.
Oh,
and that's not always true. Just because a person is thin doesn't equate for them being in shape.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate on that. What do you mean? Like, for example, for me, when I was in the military, I was 165, 170 pounds. I could do a ton of push-ups. I could do a decent amount of sit-ups, but I wasn't a fast runner. It was guys that was my height or shorter than me, fatter than me, for lack of better, for real talk, fatter than me, bigger than me, that could run circles around me. They didn't look in shape, but they were in shape for their level of preparation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't judge a book by its cover or what's in shape or what's not in shape. But then it's like, are you really in shape for what you're preparing for? And I guess to be able to answer that, you have to know what you're preparing for.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you think about basketball players or NBA players, NFL players, professional athletes, and I'm watching ESPN, they'll talk about getting in shape for the season.
Yes.
Getting prepared for the season. Like you have the off season where you can sit back, chill, get a little chubby, eat more hamburgers, only go to the gym once or twice a week, maybe not work out every day. Some of them.
Yes.
But the ones that probably go super hard, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and others that I may not know, they keep their routine. That's a different percentage. But then you have some that's like a high school student. When it's summer break, it's break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've prepared for this break. My mind is in shape to the point where physically my body knows that I go to school these many months, I work out these many months, I play basketball these many months, then I take a break.
So for some people, it's a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle
change. For other people, they just do it for their job. This is just a job. So when I'm off the job, then I'm off the routine. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on how dedicated you are to,
and that goes
or what you.
That goes to my point. The level that you're in shape in will be dependent upon what you're preparing for.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because if you're not preparing to go anywhere, like to do nothing extra in life, to get a better job, to go further in school, like if you're not preparing to go anywhere, you're not in shape for that. You only know what's going on the news. You only know what's going on in the neighborhood. You only know the local gossip because you're not looking to go any further. You're not shaping your mind for that. If you're, I was gonna tie something else in, but so
being in shape is from what I hear you saying. We're not just talking about physical.
No, not at all.
Mental. We're talking about emotional, because I think it all works together.
What's going on, Wenzel? How it came to me earlier today. So I feel like I'm pretty physically fit, right?
Yes.
I feel like I'm pretty physically fit, even on my bad days when I feel like I'm a little fat, whatever I go through. Today, I told you I had to go wash the cars, right?
Yeah.
I got up this morning. I did my normal ruck. What's going on, Victorino? What's going on, Wenzel? What's going on, Baron? Thank y'all for tuning in, joining. Please share this video. We talking about, are you really in shape? And if you are or not, what are you preparing for? And how we help you get in shape. So this morning, I rucked, did my normal ruck. Didn't really want to. Did my ruck anyhow. Said I was going to clean out your car so we prepare for inspection. And I said I'll do the inspection next week, but I still wanted to clean your car and mine.
Yes.
Now I went to the car wash, cleaned my car. Simple, put my little $3 in. You got the $3 wash, knock it out real quick. I'm used to that, right? Yes. I've been cleaning it every week or so, every other week, every 2 weeks, when I do Uber. So it was easy.
Yes.
But now Pearl.
Our Durango. It's twice as big.
2011 Dodge Durango Citadel. Now, I think we had the thing. I've had the thing 5 years now. I got it in 2015. Up until 2 years ago, I was used to cleaning it on a regular basis at the car wash. I was in shape for that. This is what we talking about. This how this topic came up. I swear to you. I was in shape for going to the car wash, popping my $3 in and being able to rinse it off, wash it, I mean, and rinse it off again within my 3 minutes for my $3.
Right.
I was prepared for that. Like I got this. Like I got this. Like I got this, right? Now, since I've been driving Tiny Tim 2013 Kia Soul, half the size of Pearl.
Yes.
I've been cleaning that for the last year on a regular basis. And Pearl, being honest, ain't been getting clean like that. She go through the car wash or something else. I don't physically clean it like I used to.
Right.
Now today, I cleaned Tiny Tim this morning. Normal thing. Felt good. I'm used to that. I got this rhythm down. 3 minutes good.
Yes.
I went to clean Pearl today. And I realized that I wasn't in shape to get that truck done in 3 minutes. Like I was working and my heart was beating fast and I was just moving. And I got it rinsed off and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have a towel. I can't dry it off. My wife gonna be gone. She and Tiny Tim. That's where my ShamWow always at. But I get home and you still here.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, my
slow
God.
moving today.
So I pull up on side of it. I dry it off and it hits me again. I wasn't prepared just to dry it off. I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's going to go pretty quick. Not that I was about to die or anything like that, but I realized I was breathing a lot heavier than I normally would when I'm drying off Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Like you're only in shape to the level of the situation that you're prepared for.
Right.
I'm prepared for walking. I'm in shape for walking and rucking. But if I went out to run that same distance, my body wouldn't be prepared for that.
Right.
And it's somewhat the same thing in our life. Where we go in life, where we see ourselves in life, it's only as far as we're in shape, as far as what's shaped our thinking for, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What we've prepared for. Like we coming up in Detroit, most of our friends or some of our friends prepared to get a job at the big three.
Right.
That's what they prepared to do. And that's what they got. And then, things change. Your mind doesn't shape for much of anything else. But when you, where was I going with this? I forgot. I did. You was looking
all
at
right?
it. Yeah, I'm fine. No, seriously.
Well, it's kind of like expanding your mind too.
Right.
Growing up in Detroit, the big three was big. It was like the dream job. And so unless
Paul from Toastmasters,
unless you encountered someone from another state or another city that had different things going on, that's just kind of what you were grooming yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
And so it goes back to what you were saying about being prepared for where you want to go. You only prepared for the big three because that's all you know. But once your mind has been expanded, then it's like, okay, now I need to make different changes in where I want to go.
So how do you get yourself in shape for those changes? How do you prepare your mind? How do you begin to shift? What is it that you do to prepare for that, where you want to go now? This is where I've been.
You get new knowledge. We're talking about the big three. What if I decide I don't want to work in a factory and I want to go work in a hospital where I know nothing about the hospital? So I need to either go to school or go to YouTube or somewhere where I can prepare my mind, read some books, talk to people about preparing my mind and my level of education to work in a hospital.
So would that be like physically exercising your mind, like people physically exercise their bodies to get in shape? That
Absolutely.
Would be you exercising your mind to get yourself in shape for the direction that you want to go now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you begin to go to that direction, I guess you would have to know what you're preparing for, or you just, hey, I know I want to go to somewhere better, so I'm going to start taking these steps, or...
Yeah, somewhere better is so broad. You have to get specific on where you want to go. You have to start researching. Okay. What is it that I like to do? What is it that I wouldn't mind doing? And then research that thing. Okay. There are so many tests you can take on personalities and the different jobs that fit your personality. And once you pick one, then you focus on getting your mind and your your level of education to that level so that you can transition to that particular position.
Okay, can you keep talking? I'm looking for something that I wanted to tie into this, because earlier you sent me a video on Instagram.
Yes.
And the older gentleman was talking about the top 5 principles to get to be successful. And one of those principles was being in shape. And he talked about it from a healthy standpoint and a mental standpoint.
Yes.
And that's why I came up with that question. Are you really in shape? Like, I thought I was in shape because I ruck every day. What was I preparing for by rucking every day? Rucking every day was more so spiritual and mental than it was physical.
Right.
Rucking was for the time to talk to myself, to be by myself, talk to God, like to change my thought process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had prepared myself to get here, like we talked about before.
Yes.
But once I got here, I didn't ask for God, what's next for me to go further? So rucking allowed me that mental exercise to build up for the next level of where he's taking us.
Yes.
Not just me. Now, I also benefited from that physically.
Yes.
Rucking turned into, okay, becoming more consistent, doing push-ups, adding stuff to it. I was building on a new foundation, right? So physically, I was in shape rucking, but what I was preparing for was where God was taking me next mentally.
Yes.
If I can get out here and I can walk and I can take this time by myself, if I can take this time with him, not only will I prepare myself more physically, but I'll make myself stronger mentally. And what the doctor was saying, he was saying that in order for people to truly be successful, it was 5 principles. And like the top 2 of those was physical health and mental health, because they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Anyone who's ever worked out before for a small period of time, anyone who's ever thought back to when they were a teenager, or the 20-something-year-old lady, like, ooh, girl, I'm snatched. Look at me, pre-kids, pre-boyfriend, getting on your nerves. Like the dude that was the jock on the football team, you was like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Beforehand, when you know what that looked like, when you was in shape, or when your mind was in shape, so you didn't have the heartbreaks from the relationships, where you was freely living your life when you was in your single stage, without me, without the last situation. Like when you was in shape and you was prepared for those things to move further in life. I think I was my point again.
What is going on?
Yes.
5 principles.
Yes,
the
right.
doctor was talking about preparing yourself. I mean, does this help you at all?
Yeah, it does. So when you was prepared for those things, it went in hand with the 5 principles. You go. I gotta look it up. That's where I was going. I was going to get your phone, but then I went on a rant about what he was saying, so I can tie it into the 5 principles. But when you was by yourself, you were, strengthening yourself, what you're preparing for, what you're getting in shape for, and your singleness.
Yes.
Mentally, you're preparing yourself maybe to be a wife later on in life. You know what I'm saying? But in your singleness, mentally, you're building Tim Kedia up. You're preparing you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And physically, you walk back and forth to work sometimes also. You are preparing to be healthy. You changed your diet up. So it's like, are you really in shape? And I know I was in shape, but only to the level I was preparing for. When I ruck, that's easy, but that was more for mental for me. When I had to take that 3 minutes to hurry up and dry off the car and get something done, like it was out of my comfort zone,
yes.
I realized I wasn't prepared for that. So if you think about when you always like, man, I know you, babe. You always gonna go for the challenge. Because in my mind, I'm like, I have to prepare for the worst case scenario. Life gonna come and punch me in the face anyway. So if I just prepare to jump in there, if I just shape my mind and I physically get ready for that and say, I'm gonna take this challenge on, whatever, I feel like I'm gonna be all right. I'm preparing for life every single day.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rucking. That's why I'm taking the 4 classes again. It sucked. Like 4 classes suck. I still get days where I feel like this is going to be too hard for me. I still get those days, but I'm taking it anyway because I'm preparing. I'm getting my mind in shape for when we on the road and we speaking to thousands of people, or when people start tearing my name down about something that may happen in my past or something that's going on right now in my life. Like, I'm preparing myself to, like I said, ruck it out, walk it out, to just be myself, the JBY. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting in shape. Not only am I getting in shape mentally, I'm getting in shape physically. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, are you really in shape, and what are you preparing for? Drying off the car exposed something that I wasn't prepared for. You know what I'm saying? Like, your car breaking down exposes that you're not financially prepared for life.
That's good.
Your husband walking out exposes that you're not emotionally prepared for life, to be able to pick yourself up in the moment and pull yourself together. Not say you don't cry out, not don't say you don't reach out to God, but some people get stuck.
Yes.
And crying on who walked out on them and who left them. Imagine if you would have still been stuck from when I walked out and I left you. Sometimes you don't be prepared for that, and I get that, but you still have to have your mind in shape, challenging yourself, doing something that's hard, that's difficult every day, for when those times come, you're a little bit prepared because you're in a little better shape, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
The Franklins are watching from Dallas.
Hey, Franklin. Go to the Potter's house and bring me back a brochure, a Bible, and a keychain so I can put it on my refrigerator magnet till I get there. So I can say, this is the Potter's touch.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Czar.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about today, man. Are you really in shape? And if you are, what are you preparing for? And if you are not, what do you need to do to prepare? Like, you go to the gym and you work out. Why? Why do you work out? Do you just want to look good? Like, looking good is, like my wife say, that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I know y'all don't know what that means, so I'm going to break it down. Like, the relationship is the relationship. The part that goes with it, when you married or not, I ain't going to even act like people wait till they married. The sexual part, the intimacy that goes with it, that's the icing on the cake. When you go to the gym and you doing the workout, that's the relationship, mind, body, and spirit. Because if you've really been in a gym, or you've been dancing, or you play golf, or whatever you do physically, tennis, if you really been into that thing, you know you building a relationship. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You really get that connection, and mentally it prepares you for other things and other directions that you're going in life.
Yeah. Right?
Mm-hmm. So I think I told you I didn't know I was going today. Hey, Franklin's in Dallas. Did we say hey?
Yeah, we did.
I know we did. Let me go back to my notes. I already used that story. Yeah. Oh, I'm already halfway through the thing. That's why. I'm using I can't believe I'm using my notes. Hey, that's what happens when you prepare for stuff. You're getting yourself in shape. But that's
so let's talk about some goals that we can set. So
who, we or them? Because I got some goals set.
Okay, so give us some. What goals do you have set, and what are you doing to get there? I mean, what are you doing to exercise your mind or your body to get there?
All right, well, now, exercising my mind and my body. For me, exercising my mind, I'm up every day, 4:30. Well, Monday through Friday, 4:30. On the weekends, I get up at 6. But exercising my mind for me is reading the Bible. I pray. I read my goals and my affirmations that's in my card that I've been reading for the last 2 years. And I listen to something inspirational, whether it be Les Brown, T.D. Jakes, whether it be my own motivation. And then I go down to the garage. I do my push-ups for my physical part, and then I go on my ruck and I talk to God for my spiritual part, or listen to more inspiration. So I put myself in the mindset of not only being physically in shape, but being mentally in shape. I exercise mind, body, and spirit. And that helps me attain the goals that I want, the getting done in school, the speaking more times this year, the building a stronger relationship, the going live more, to creating a more, not even a bigger following, but reaching more people by allowing God to use me more. So putting myself in physical and mental shape is allowing me to become a better version of myself. That's what I do that works for me.
Right.
But you got to.
So you're going to need the stamina when you talking to these people and you're speaking more. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Keeping yourself in shape helps you to be able to do more.
And anything in life, when you're in better physical shape, well, you know what? Here's the thing.
Because it profits you nothing to get all these bookings and then you're not up for the task physically.
And here's the thing. Not only physically, but if you're not up for the task mentally, and I'm not pointing out anyone in particular, and you can make your own judgments. If you look at NFL players, NBA players, hockey players, entertainers, I want to say athletes who are in great physical shape, but then you hear about some of the things that they allegedly have done that sound horrendous to most. It doesn't show that they're in the best mental shape. It doesn't show they're in the best mental shape. So if you don't prepare your mind mentally, the physical doesn't even really matter. The body is always willing. It's the mind that is weak. That's why God's word says, renew your mind daily. The body is willing to do what we want to do, what we want it to do. People have done miraculous things because their mind was in shape. Yes. Their mind was in shape long before their body was in shape. Prefontaine running a sub 4-minute mile. You know, his mind was in shape. When people said he couldn't do that, his mind was in shape, so his body had to follow. And a lot of times we think about being in shape, just this physical thing. And my goal is to get 6-pack abs. My goal is to have 22-inch guns. My goal is to have, 19-inch chest. I don't know how they measure it or whatever they do, but you think about a physical look. Yeah, because people can identify with that and say that's success. Yes, that is in building a body, but did you really build your mind? Did you go further in life? Did you strengthen your mind? And some people get stuck in building and exercising to a point of, I'm preparing myself to be the best basketball player and nothing more. Or I'm preparing myself to be the best NFL football player and nothing more. I'm preparing myself to be the best mailman and nothing more. I'm preparing myself to be the best just speaker at the high school level or college level, but speaking only and nothing more. Like, you prepare yourself, so that's what you get in shape for. But the greats, they never stop preparing themselves. They always have the next dream. You think about Kobe Bryant, left the NBA, walked right into the movies and everything, and earned an Oscar, wrote novels. Like, his mind of being in shape was always craving the next challenge, the next gift, the next desire. So it's like, are you really in shape? What are you preparing for? I'm preparing for life. Yes. So Ruckin is preparing for life mentally. The physical is a benefit. It's the icing on the cake. The going in the gym, lifting the weights and getting the 6-pack and the 22-inch pythons is the icing on the cake. Hopefully, if you really got in there, you got into your mind, you got into your heart, and you start to really build on those things, because it's not just about looking good. Why look good if you don't really feel good? Yes. You know what I'm saying? There's so many people that look good that's snatched or torn or dripping wet or whatever they doing right now. Like, whatever they doing, I don't know. Right. They all that, but they snatched in their mind. They torn up. They pillow probably wet from tears that night because they not in shape for this thing called life. Like, are you really in shape? What are you prepared for? People find this morbid and they might find this weird. I told my cousin, and I don't hate to say this, and hear me out. I told my cousin, and I said this to you before. I think in my mind that my father probably passed away within the next 5 years or so. Like, I've already started preparing my mind for that because I've seen signs are happening that things are deteriorating and he's not getting any better. And I know that the physical responds to the mental. And if you don't deal with the mental and you let go in the mental, the physical responds to that. And from the direction that I see things going, and I'm not being negative, I'm a very optimistic person, but I'm watching the stories from what he was told to do over the past or the time of his life that's not been happening. And what they said would happen is happening. If you don't take care of this, this will be the result of that. If you don't prepare for this, this will be the result of that. If you don't get this in shape, this will be the result of that. Yes. If you don't get your finances in shape, you get put out your house. If you don't get your attitude in shape, you lose your job. If you don't get your heart in shape, you lose your marriage. If you don't get your mind in shape and your heart in shape, you lose your kids. Like, if you don't get your health in shape, you lose your life. Yeah. So I'm seeing what's happening and I'm asking God, okay, Lord, prepare me for this because I see what's about to happen. I may not be prepared for it. It may feel like daggers when it happens, but I know it's going to happen. So let me start preparing for this right now. So when I say, are you really in shape? What are you building for? What are you putting your foundation on? What are you preparing for? I'm getting my mind in shape for the days that I'm speaking and I'm telling my story and some come up how I was behind on child support or how somebody called me a deadbeat dad or you had a car repossessed. Like somebody always tries to find something to throw darts at you to try to tear you down. Like you can look good. People look good, physical specimens, but they're torn down in their mind. So I'm preparing my mind and I'm in shape for the battle that I'm supposed to fight, the journey that I'm going on. You have to, I challenge you to ask yourself, am I really in shape for life? What am I prepared for? What am I preparing for in my life? Where am I preparing to go? So when I think about being in shape, I think about strengthening my mind mentally. And when you do that, physically, I feel like it falls in suit because if you can take control of this, if you can take control of the tongue, which controls everything, then you can take control of your whole life. And people look at being in shape just by a physical look. We think because we look a certain way that makes us in shape. Smart man, you're supposed to prepare yourself. So many fail to do that. Absolutely right. What's going on, Siobhan? Hey, how you doing? People look at the wrong thing, man. We look at being in shape just from an external and not the internal.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Wear a mask instead of really doing the internal work so that we look like we have it going on when we really are torn inside.
But so, you know, it's steps. And if you're not, for those that are in shape, and here's the thing, it's two parts to this. This is, are you in shape? And if you are, what are you preparing for? Not just in physical shape, not just you look good with your clothes off, you snatched in a 2-piece swimsuit, not just all that. Like, are you in shape mentally? Are you prepared for this thing called life? Did you getting your heart right? Is you getting your spirit right? Well, whatever your higher power is, because we all believe in something greater than ourselves. So are you getting your mind in shape, prepared to prepare for this thing called life? So we talking about that. For those who are in shape, they feel mentally, what are you preparing for and how is it helping someone else? And for those who are not in shape or feel as if they're not in shape, I want to give you a few steps to help you get in shape. And then you can also ask yourself, what do I need to get in shape for? What do I need to prepare for? Right. And now ask you that, what do you feel like you need to be in shape for that you will be prepared for? About to go hit him with the new dance show, Time for the Percolator. That's what I was going with it.
Oh, okay.
I figure I keep messing it up. Why not make a joke out of it for everybody else do? I'm prepared for this, man. You got to JBY that thing. But anyhow.
Mean.
Yeah, there you go. JBY mean. P.I.E.N. JBY P.I.E.N. I ain't with you. Come on now, tell the people what you prepared for.
Preparing for businesses.
What you trying to get in shape for?
Businesses, life. This thing called life. Starting a business, growing a business.
What's going on, Nyron and Kevin?
Getting in shape for our marriage. Staying in shape.
How? What way?
Constant communication.
That's good. Being in shape for your relationship and where you're preparing to go. I like that.
Absolutely.
Let's elaborate on that.
We talk all the time, not just about, building a business, but what we want in our relationship. How do you want it to look? You want to be best friends with your spouse. Do y'all just want to be, roommates? I mean, we talk about being, what we are, best friends. So you spend time with your best friend. You talk with your best friend. You be honest with your best friend, and we have a regular date night once a week that we stick to no matter what, even if it's just what we call an in-home date night, where we just sit at home,
or
or
a
maybe
working
we
date
watch
night.
a movie, and we have a working date night where we're conversing about, okay, what business ventures or ideas we want to talk about or implement. We've had some things that we've had to create. So when you want success in an area of your life, you have to get in shape for it. Mm-hmm. So if we want a successful marriage, we have to stay in shape for it. We have to communicate. We have to keep on dating each other, which mm-hmm. we have the date night for. And I just think that's so important. I have kids. I want to be a successful parent. So I'm constantly thinking of ways I can spend time with my kids and meeting their needs. Like my son right now needs a laptop. So I'm researching laptops and what he needs and how it's going to fit his needs. And it has to be small because he's carrying it back and forth to work. So I'm exercising my mind as a mother, as a wife, and as an individual, because there are things that I'm working towards, and there are relationships that I value that I'd like to keep intact. Mm-hmm. And so you have to work at things. You don't just get in a marriage and you like, okay, we married, so I'll see you when I see you, and that's that. You have to keep on working. Like what you did to attract this man, you have to keep on doing that. You can't just let yourself go and never look sexy. When he met you, you had your makeup tight, you was sexy, you was wearing that dress. Like,
not right now, man.
Every now
and calling me, I'm on live stream right now.
Every now and again, put that dress on, put your makeup on, do it up for him. And same go for the men. When you was getting her, you was dating her, you was bringing flowers, whatever it is, going out to dinner. Don't stop doing that now that you feel like you won the prize, because what you did to get that person, you have to keep on doing that to keep things intact, I feel, because it's like, okay, you used to do these things and now you don't. It makes me feel like you wore a mask. Mm-hmm. You only did those things to win me over, and now I'm like, okay, what happened to the man I married or the woman I married? It's like, oh, okay, so this was all an act, and now that you have what you want, the true you is coming out.
So wait a minute, wait, hold on.
That's so deceiving. So if this is what you say you want, and this is who you say you want to be with, you have to constantly be dating that person. As a parent, I have to constantly be in the know with my kids. If I want to be a successful parent, I have to constantly talk to them and be involved as much as I can. Like, I'm the parent right now that works, so I'm involved as much as I can, and I keep in communication with Ethan, who's more hands-on at the schools. But I still show up if there's something in the evening. So you have to still show up. You can't just get something and then don't exercise yourself in relationships. It's just it's not fair to the person you're in a relationship with. And so preparation is very important. And I feel like preparation doesn't ever stop, because you're constantly evolving, or you should be. Because doing the same thing every day over and over again gets old. So you want to be evolving in some area of your life. Think about parenting. Our kids don't stay little forever. So you're constantly evolving as they grow. When they're babies, you're doing one thing. When they're toddlers, you're doing one thing. When they're preteens, you're treating them a different way, or you're interacting with them a different way. And now my son's getting ready to go to high school. So there's a transition coming, and my baby girl is going from elementary to middle school. So there are transitions in life where, you have to constantly be growing as a person, so that you don't.
Ethan is horrible. I'm saying
so that you can stay in a healthy space.
So what you said to me is, I didn't lose my point, people. She was going.
I was in there.
Yeah, you was all the way up in there. So what you said is, people only get themselves in shape or prepared for
what they want. And then they stop preparing for
so it's like,
thing.
It's like I heard Eric Thomas say one time when he was talking to some NFL players. He's like, your dream was to make it to the NFL. And once you made it to the NFL, you stopped dreaming. So you didn't work as hard. You didn't fight as hard. Your dream was to say, this my wife.
Yes.
But you stopped working on what it took to have a wife, what it took to honor a wife, what God said how a man's supposed to treat a wife. And then the wife stopped working on herself to be a wife. You stopped working on yourself to be a husband.
Yeah, you
So
got the prize, or you got your goal, and then you just like, okay, I attain my goal.
So if you don't know if you don't know what you're doing it for, like if you're not doing it for what I guess a marriage is, or what a business is, or what a career is, or what you're passionate about, then maybe you will probably go in and out of shape. You won't do it for long.
Absolutely. It's like that car. You like, oh, I want this car. I'm saving up for this car. And when I get this car, it's going to be great. You get the car, and then you're not getting the oil change. You're not taking care of it. You got trash all in the back seat. Like, you didn't think that
so you not
once you get the car, it still has to be maintained. You can't just, you can just roll till the wheels fall off, but you won't have it long. So when you want things, you have to research the fullness of that thing. If you want to be married, you have to research the fullness of what it means to be married.
So maybe when people call it,
don't just do it because you don't want to be alone, because that's the wrong reason to be in a relationship. Because then you just get that person and you feel like you could just be lazy with that thing because I'm in a relationship now and we should just be okay, because marriage don't magically make you a perfect couple. It takes work.
Well, maybe you don't get those things. Maybe God, Buddha, Allah, universe, however you want to look at it, maybe you don't get those things because you not prepared for it. So Absolutely. It's not being released to you.
And I think that's the case. That's what your single season is for you to prepare.
But what about if you out of your single season? You already married now. Now you married.
Okay.
And you believe
it's never too late.
Okay, so what do you do in that sense? Now you married and you already preparing your mind. You in shape now, you in the fight.
You need to do some research. Like I said, what does it mean to truly be a wife? What does it mean to truly be a husband? As a husband, are you providing? Is there safety in your home? Does your family feel safe? Do they feel financially secure? Do they feel like they can come and talk to you about things that may be going on? Are you directional? Do you have some direction? Do you know where you're going as a man? You can't lead a wife and kids if you don't know where you're going. Do you want the family to be successful in the area of business? Do y'all just want to work and maybe own a home? Like, what is the goal for the family? And as a wife, you're a helpmate. Are you helping in the vision of what your husband and you have decided to do in the relationship? Everyone is different. Ours is to build a business.
So if a husband and
they
a wife
may not want to build a business, but whatever that thing is, y'all's may be just to own a home and have 2 kids and have successful careers. Like, whatever that thing is, y'all have to be on one accord with that thing and work together to get there.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What this got to do with being in shape?
Because if I desire to be in a successful marriage, I need to physically be in shape to keep the marriage intact.
But you could be like, you look in shape right now. What if you feel like you in shape already?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. How my spouse feels tells whether I'm in shape or not. Is my husband happy? Is my husband?
But here's the thing: mentally, you have to be in shape, because that's a big thing to put somebody else's thoughts or feelings before your own.
Mental.
So that's more of a mental being in shape, to understand that I am the desire of my husband or my wife's heart. So physically, I want to look in the way that they desire me.
And that's okay. But the reason why I say that's the icing on the cake, because you can be a physical goddess, but you could be a mental mess. You could be verbally abusive. You could be not coming home. You could be cheating. You could be doing the most. Eventually,
I used to swim in
you looking good is gonna wear off. And bro, you need to go. You need to take your physical
Give me the black bag, front door kick out service.
Okay, yeah, eventually.
I'm just saying, you were saying you got to get it together, you got to go. I was saying, I was that.
Your physicalness is not going to be enough to keep me around.
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, that was your amen session.
I was saying my physicalness or my thinking that I had it wasn't enough to keep me around because we weren't prepared to go nowhere. You know?
Nah, if I'm a person and that's all I care about, then
and then I was in there.
You winning. But if I'm somebody who desire more, then bruh, there's so many men out here who may not be as cut up as you, but they got it here, and that's gonna get my attention more than the physical. So I'm just saying.
She just say she's looking for attention.
I ain't about to Aisha Curry, get my attention.
No, I'm
you
just
all depends on what you're looking for, what your goals are. Then that's where your mind will be.
Are you really in shape? Are you really prepared for this thing called life? If you're not in shape, here's how you get in shape. Go to 1-800. Here's how you get in shape, man. It's a few simple steps. For me, it's one simple. It's believing in God. Set realistic goals for yourself and take responsibility for you. And then put some action in. It's simple. It don't really take. People are talking about, I like Eric Thomas. I really do. I admire him a lot. But he talks about the secret to success. And then you hear things about the power of think and grow rich. And you hear about the, what's that big one that everybody talks about? The, I can't think about it. I can't think of it right now. Think and grow rich. It'll come. Is it a book? No, it's like a the law of attraction. Like people talk about the law of attraction. So anyhow, people talk about the we're given everything we need inside of us. Time out. I gotta read this message. We're given everything we need inside of us. Read it aloud so we all. You read it aloud because you got the reader's voice.
Okay. We are given everything we need inside of us, but are we tapping into it? You can gather all the food needed to make a meal, but if you haven't learned how to prepare it, then you have food present that will spoil. Mm-hmm. Being in shape requires one to have spent the time preparing themselves to be open to letting those who you desire to come in and benefit from that preparedness, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Now, those are wise words from who I call my big brother, Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
And I want to go, it's so many parts I can go to on this, but I want to go to the last part, I do believe. Being in shape requires one to have spent the time preparing themselves to be open to letting those who you desire to come in and benefit from that preparedness mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yes.
I wanted to be open to my wife, to my 5 children. Nobody else mattered. At the beginning of this journey, mentally, spiritually for God, physically for myself, but mentally I needed to be open for them. I needed to share my hurts, my desires, my pains, my strengths, my weaknesses. I needed to do that to strengthen my mind and prepare myself to go where I'm at right now. I would not have done this to start to inspire other people if I wouldn't have got my life right with the people that meant the most to me. It's like when I told my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters when I left Michigan, the family that I was born into don't mean much to me once I leave here. The family that I created, my wife and those 5 kids, that's the family that I'm building. So when he says that, being in shape requires one to have spent the time preparing themselves. When I was living in that basement that I thought was a dark time in my life in my sister's house, I was preparing myself. When I was having sexual desires and knowing that I was technically, legally still married, could have went and had sex with my my ex, but knowing that mentally that would have tore me down and took me back to a place of just physical connection. Yes. Like, that dark place was mentally preparing me to be able to free myself here and grow to where I'm at now. And the physical played a part in that as well, because the more I worked out, the more it strengthened my mind, the further I pushed myself. And that's the thing. Like, you have to believe in God. If you don't know what you're preparing for, if you don't feel like you in shape and you don't know how to get there, it's a few simple things you can do, man. One is you have to believe in God, Buddha, Allah, or an authority that's greater than ourselves. Regardless to what you call it, we all believe in an authority that's greater than ourselves. I do believe. Most of us do.
Most of us, yeah.
Most of us do. The vast majority of the world do.
Yes.
Believe in an authority that's greater than ourselves. And then on top of that, you have to believe in you. Like, you really have to believe in you. And if you don't believe in you, and if you don't believe in you, and you don't set realistic goals for you, you don't set realistic goals. If you know you can't run 5 miles and you haven't ran a mile in 3 years, don't say you're going to run 5 miles today. Say, I'm going to run a quarter mile. Say, I'm going to run a block. Like, set realistic goals. Don't say I'm going to read this book in 1 week if you haven't read in 2 years. I'm not saying that you cannot do it. I'm saying that you probably should not do it because your mind's not in shape for that. You haven't prepared for this. There's no muscle memory. So when you get tired, there's nothing to fall back on.
Right.
That's what getting in shape is all about. When I was getting in shape in that basement in my sister's room, reading those affirmations, reading those prayers, working out, asking God to bring me back here, I was preparing for this.
Yes.
And he brought me here. He opened me up to be physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally ready, as Rico was stating. And that's my question to you. What are you preparing for? I don't care what you look like physically. Are you in shape mentally? If you're not in shape mentally, I challenge you to ask yourself, what will it take for me to change my life? What will it take for me to get in shape mentally? What am I preparing for? What do I want in life?
Yeah.
How do I get there? I'm going to tell you these 4 steps, 3 steps, 2 steps. Take a step. Believe in God. Set realistic goals for yourself, man. Set realistic goals for yourself. You have to.
Excuse me.
You done?
I'm done.
Is you done? She just gonna yawn like right there in the middle of there? You just gonna yawn like that? Well, at least you honest. You take responsibility for it. Takes me to my next point. Set realistic goals. Take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
Take responsibility for your actions. The way you look. If you physically don't look at something that you happy with, change it. The way you feel. If you mentally don't feel like you're happy with something that you're feeling in your mind, change it. Emotionally, change it. So take responsibility. If you're not smart enough, if you don't feel like you smart enough, change it. That's why I went to tutoring. That's why I went back to school, because it was a challenge. I didn't feel like I was doing enough, so I had to change it. Yeah. Take responsibility. And the last but not least, and the most important, is put some work in. Put some work in. Even if you're doing this, I'm sitting in the living room and I set up the area right, and I got a microphone and I got some cameras. I have what I have, but I'm putting the work in. I'm preparing for when we get the studio, when we get the big cameras, when we get the microphone, when we get the guests. I'm getting myself in shape to talk for an hour. I'm getting myself in shape to be able to connect with my wife, to connect with the audience. I'm putting in that work. I'm taking action. You have to take action. You have to take action. As Kevin Gates said, it's the grind, it's the hustle, it's the action, it's the consistency. Are you really in shape for this thing called life? Are you really preparing for this thing called life? We so busy watching other people's life go, shoo, shoo. That's their life. That's shoo. Like, pew, 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 pew. Like, pshaw, pshaw. Like, that's the sound we used to make. Don't act like you ain't had a good pew, 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 pew. Y'all didn't do that? So that was shoo. That's how your life going, shoo. That's how it sounded in Iraq, too. And the missiles was come in, they would be whistling like, I don't know how to whistle well, so they'd be like, They'll be like, shoo. But anyhow, and boom, explode.
Right.
And when we not in shape for this thing called life, when we not prepared for this thing called life, that's what it feels like happened. It feels like, shoot, one problem after another. There's no good person in the relationship. Shoot, this dang on job just let me go. Shoot, this dumb car just broke down.
Yeah.
Shoot, my kid just got kicked out of school. Like, shoot, good note. I was broke. I hit the lottery. My whole life just changed. That's still a bomb and an explosion in your life that you're not prepared for.
Exactly.
So are you really in shape? And what are you preparing for? And if you're not in shape, this is what you need to do to get yourself in shape. You need to rock with God or a higher power. That's something that's greater than you. You need to believe in you. You need to take responsibility for you. You need to take responsibility for you. You have to. You got to work on you. You have to work on you. You got to set realistic goals for you. Realistic goals. And then you got to get to work. Okay? You got to get to work. You got to get to work. Is it time to go? No, not yet. Okay, go. I got to go check on my beans.
Okay.
Black bean patty. And computer about to die.
Making black bean burgers. Well, Mr. P.I.E.N is making black bean burgers.
From scratch.
From scratch. Fresh.
Yeah, they smelling good over here.
Nice.
And I'm making homemade potato fries.
Homemade French fries. Those are the best. If you never had them,
you
gotta get you some.
You still have what you enjoy for the long run. I don't got to have the meat to still be able to eat good.
Right.
Prepare for this thing. The journey is long. We got to go.
Okay. Oh, because you was talking, I was listening. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about.
Friend, why are you smacking my butt cheeks?
Are you in shape?
And what are you preparing?
And what are you preparing for? And if you're not, how do you get yourself in shape?
Here's a question for you. What helped you prepare for what did you do to get yourself in shape, to pull yourself together after going through your last situation, to prepare yourself for whatever may have came next, even though it was not what you wanted?
I had to know what I wanted. When a season ends, you have to know what you want.
How did you know what you wanted? What did you do to figure that out?
I knew I didn't want to be crying and upset anymore or forever. I wanted to grieve from a loss of a relationship, and then I wanted to move forward. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be, married again, but I didn't even worry about that. I just worked on me, getting myself in a physical shape because I was still raising children, and I didn't want to be doing that from a place of hurt. It's not healthy when we're raising kids from a place of hurt. We project things onto them that they didn't ask for nor deserve. So I think I was so concerned about the well-being of my children, I pulled myself up, if not for myself, for them, because they didn't deserve the hurt me. They deserve the me that was healthy and whole, because that's what they need. They're growing. They don't know what they want, know what they need all the time. So they needed a healthy me. So I began to pull myself up and think about, if they need something financially, I need to be able to provide that. So I started to get my financial health in order. I started to put something aside every paycheck. I started to work on my mental. What do I want? Where am I going? What are the best schools for them? Like, I started to just focus on getting from a place of hurt and pain and just going into a place of healing, allowing myself to feel the pain, but just not stay there.
I understand that, because when I was in that basement at my sister's house, I allowed myself to be in that pain because I wasn't alone, but I felt lonely.
Yes,
at times. Like when people say you're gonna be all alone without me, no, but I felt lonely sometimes. But being in that hurt and that pain, you know what I'm saying, it prepared me to go through that emotional training, that strengthening, you know what I'm saying? And the physical exercise just helped with that.
And it's something about being by yourself. You get to look at you. You hear your thoughts. You get to look at you, and it's like, ooh, I really don't like this part of me. I don't like that I'm holding on to this story from when I was 7 and this thing happened to me. It happened. I can't go back and change it. So I'm choosing to take control of my life from this point on, and I'm gonna let it go. Now, does it mean that that thing that happened was okay and that those people should get away with it? No, but it means, if it means for me to be free to let it go and forgive, then that's what I must do, because like I said, I can't go back and change it. And a lot of times you may not get an apology. So you just have to decide to take your control back. This thing is not going to control me anymore. This person didn't keep their end of the bargain. That doesn't change. But what changes is the way I perceive it now. I'm going to take the lesson from it. Next time I'll know the signs when I'm dealing with people, and I'm just going to be a better person from it. And I just was going forward. Like I said, if not for me, for my kids, because they deserve the better, healthier me. I didn't want to parent them from a place of brokenness.
And that's why it's so important for you to get yourself in shape and know what you preparing for. Because as I believe it was Inky Johnson I heard say earlier today, your purpose in life is connected to someone else's purpose. You reaching your purpose, you strengthening yourself and doing what you needed to do for your kids. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose, as you're still discovering that, but you taking that opportunity to step forward instead of wallowing in your pity, is going to bless your kids to see something that's going to bless someone else. Like,
absolutely.
Your purpose in life is connected to someone else's purpose. And that's what we fail to realize. Like, when we could looking at everybody else and comparing ourselves to everyone else, we don't understand that we have our own purpose. We have our own direction. Excuse me. That's gonna help somebody else. Yes. And if we not physically in shape to carry the load that God is getting ready to put on us, excuse me, if we not mentally prepared for this, if we haven't talked ourselves through this, if we haven't talked to God and know that what's about to come is gonna be heavy, but physically I'm ready to walk this out, mentally I'm talking to you, I'm strong to do this. You know what I'm saying? If we don't do those things, then we fall victim to everything that's going on around us.
Yes,
because we're not in shape.
That you wanted, and then you're not prepared to keep it. Yes, yeah.
You're not prepared to keep it, or you're not prepared to even elevate it to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like the car analogy I used earlier. You want this car, but did you research how much gas it's going to take per mile? Did you research the maintenance that's going to take to keep it? Did you research how often you have to keep it clean?
No, but it looked good, dog. It looked good.
For the first, 6
some
months,
beads on it.
you can put gas in it and keep going, but there's going to come a time where you're going to have to take it to a shop and let a mechanic look at it. So a lot of times we want things that we don't fully understand.
That's true.
The requirements of keeping it.
Rico said, how you going to leave? This was early. How you going to leave the check on his beans? Love it. Oh, for sure, man.
And then talk to me from over
there.
Hey,
listen to me.
Like you're supposed to be talking to the people, but you talking to me.
I almost not came back and continued to go to the next step, which was draining those beans and putting them in a bowl to start to make my black bean burgers.
Some people.
I had to catch myself because when I'm cooking, I'm in the mode.
Right.
And I tasted them. Man, I'm on my.
They smelling good. So
I made it.
I'm sure.
On 1 week again, no meat. So I'm ready for them black bean burgers. I'm hungry too, America. America, I'm hungry.
You'd be surprised. You don't miss the meat when you eat a black bean.
I'm hungry. I don't know what I've been eating. I've been eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly, America. This black bean burger about to taste like an old school double whopper filet of fish, Coney Island. Man, a Willie burger, if you know what that is, this thing about to be good. Anyhow, then Rico says, the saying peace, be still, is a requirement for us to steady our minds and bodies. And a lot of time this happens in a dark space and dark time in our lives. And it's then that we must be still. So we hear that divine source that we call God and can ourselves back into and can walk ourselves back into the light.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold on. I was getting my Reverend Dr. Brother Pastor Deacon Smith on. Did you see how I read that thing?
Yes, you did.
I was visualizing TD Jakes read the scripture. You just cut me off. Let me go back. Let me go back where we was at. Divine source. Because I'm always listening to the way you read and you tell a story. So that's what I was working on. People tell me at Toastmasters that I'm a storyteller, and I know we off topic. It's fine. We over time anyway. Share this video. Anyhow, they tell me that I'm a storyteller, and I'm like, I don't see it like that, because my wife used to tell me, because she got me way before I knew she got me, and she'd just be like, she's the type of person wanting, like, okay, get to the point already. And I'm like, no, I gotta go all the way around the block, and then I gotta jump the fence, tunnel, and come back up. You know, da. And she like, you could have just saved 45 minutes of that, but it works now for speak.
Yes.
And storytelling. But I don't know. I'm a storyteller because my wife always told me I told stories too much. Anyhow.
Where you was going with that?
I don't know.
But back to Rico's point. Peace be still. You can't hear your inner thoughts and a higher power when you by yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
When you have a lot of things going on, a lot of people around, you can't hear your own thoughts.
As I like to say, I like to disconnect from this disconnected world.
Absolutely. And that's where the rucking in the morning comes in, because it's
here's
just
the thing.
You and God, and you can hear your thoughts, and you can hear him speaking to you.
It's cool not to be by yourself, though. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because you ain't prepared to go nowhere in life. In order to want to really go somewhere in life, everyone successful has talked about this and has said this. You had to get by yourself, and as Rico said, go through a dark place. Steve Harvey, homeless. Tyler Perry, homeless. Eric Thomas, homeless. Tony Robbins, homeless. Jim Carrey, I don't know if he was homeless, but he dreamed and visioned and drove up the Hollywood Drive and wrote himself a check. Like, you go through a dark place. Taraji P. Henson went to LA with $600 in her son. Like, come on, man. You have to go through that dark place. It is a purpose. Your pain is a purpose for your life. I challenge you to strengthen your mind and to exercise your mind physically. Prepare your mind to go somewhere in life. I challenge you to just be you and seek that inner you. Seek a greater version of you that you dream about, that you visualize, that you think about. I know you get tired of driving around nice neighborhoods and can't afford that house. Not even if you don't want to live there, but to have the ability to possess it, to have it make money for you. I challenge you to strengthen and exercise your mind and prepare yourself for the abundance that God wants to pour out on you. You got to believe in you. You got to just be you. You got to PSP you. You got to AYG you. You got to love you. You got to embarrass you. You got to humble you. You got to be proud of you. You got to go for you. You got to know what you're doing. I'm preparing for this. I'm preparing to speak to the world and help God use me to bless the world. Whatever he want to do, you got to do that. You got to go through that dark time. Don't let that dark time destroy you. Darkness can't blot out the light. Remember, clean out the garage, take a box out, move it to the side, light start to peek in. Come on, man. You got to get yourself in shape. I don't care how good you look on the outside. If your mind ain't ready for war, if your mind ain't ready for the battle, if you ain't thinking about PSP, promote, sell, push yourself to be the best version of yourself, then what we talking about? You leaving yourself out in the cold. That's all on you. This all on me if I stay in this apartment for the next 10 years. This all on me if I'm still shooting videos on YouTube 5 years from now and not figuring out how to build this into a business. Yes, I want to do this to inspire people, but this is my gift. God said my gift will make room for me and bring me in the presence of great men. These great men going to be blessed financially, emotionally, spiritually, and everything else. So I will get paid for my labor and for my works. So I'm preparing for this and I'm strengthening myself for this and I'm doing what I'm doing to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You supposed to get honored for your work. You supposed to. So what are you working for? What are you preparing for? I don't have to use a whole bunch of other people's story. You don't have to use nobody else's story. God gave you your own story. Remember, your purpose is tied to someone else reaching their destiny. Your purpose is tied to someone else reaching their destiny.
Indeed.
Think about it like this. Tradesa has a destiny.
Yes.
Even though you had her early, that wasn't somebody else's plan and purpose for your life. But your purpose was to bring her into this world.
Absolutely.
So she can do whatever God want her to do. No, don't take this the wrong way, America. Take it how you want to take it. In my mind, how I see this, how I process this. What's up, Gianni, right now? You know different than Mary. I'm going to use your body to birth one of my kids. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to use your body to birth one of my kids. There is a purpose that I put you in this earth. And if you don't strengthen your mind, if you don't prepare, you will never fulfill your purpose.
Absolutely.
Are you really in shape? What are you preparing for? Share this video. Share this video. Share this video. I ain't gonna say it no more because you already know what I need you to do. I need you to share the video. This is brought to you by and the good people of LLC. Share this video. What you got for the people? What's going on, Gianni, man? Share this video. I appreciate it. What's going on, nephew?
Let the people go. We over our time.
Yeah, let the people go. I got to make these black bean burgers so I can get. Strengthen your mind. Strengthen your mind. Strengthen your life. Please, please, please. I challenge you to ask yourself, am I really in shape? Am I really prepared for life? What am I preparing for, and what do I want out of life? Your purpose in life is tied to someone else accomplishing and reaching their destination in life. Please be a blessing to someone else and share this video. Thank y'all for tuning in on another Soulful Saturday session of Expression Sessions, where we come around and we express ourselves. Express yourself. I forgot the words.
Express yourself. That one?
Oh, that's the NWA one, but I was singing a different one.
Oh.
It was a girl song though. Express yourself, let me be me. It was like an 80s rap group or something. No, tell me what I cannot go work out. I think it's Joe wanna be like Bob. My man Bob ain't got no job. Salt and pepper.
Yes.
Express yourself. Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy. You gotta be a 70s, 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Whatever. Bye. We out. Mic drop. Bye. Peace.
Literally.
Don't be hating on me. I ain't. Bye.